Welcome to the United Cast. It's Entertainment Talks podcast for Man United and football. I'm your host Matthew, and today I'm talking about Manchester United's 2-1 defeat away in the Champions League to a Turkish team called Istanbul. Very poor performance today. Looked like we had a lack of ideas. I think Ollie is definitely to blame with certain, not the team we started with, maybe the team that we finished with. Certain substitutions, taking Donny van de Beek off is very questionable, and Twanzebe, just dreadful defending. The fact with the first goal that Demba Ba didn't have anyone challenging him, and just really quite poor. Just with everything. This is one of them games where we're passing left to right, passing backwards. We don't look like we have a plan, and we look like we're guessing. And it's not very nice to watch Manchester United play like that. Because, I mean, to me, what you should always try and do in attack, look for the space, go into the space, play the ball in there, and then keep passing and moving. Pretty sort of basic thing. It's just difficult to talk about Man United when we don't play very well sometimes. And, you know, it's not necessarily nice to come on the podcast and say we didn't do this right and Ollie did that wrong and this player was bad and all that sort of thing. But you've got to do it when we play like we played today. Just didn't look like we have a plan, and it's really kind of disheartening because you got some very good players out on that pitch. Bruno Fernandes, Juan Mata, Van der Beek, Rashford, Martial, World Cup winners in there, Paul Pogba, and some other players as well. I do just need to say, I know it's not exactly up front because I'm already 2 minutes in. I did have to leave to go and do something quickly at the 41st minute, so after we conceded the second goal. So I did miss Martial's goal. Now what I'm going to do is keep an eye on YouTube throughout this podcast and see if the highlights come up from BT. And to see if I can, maybe watch the goal on the podcast and let you know my thoughts on it. But in terms of their goals, which they obviously scored them first anyway, because you had one in the 12th and in the 40th minute, and then we scored in the 43rd minute. Terrible defending. I don't know what we're doing on either of those goals. You've got Demba Ba, who did used to play for Newcastle, didn't he? Used to play up front with Pape Cisse. I think that was his name. That was probably one of Newcastle's best teams in the last 10 years. But yeah, it's funny because I don't know what it was like for all of you like viewing the game, but the ball goes to Cisse. The camera sort of, at least from where I was watching it and whatever, the camera flips up towards the goal, and there's no Manchester United players there apart from Dean Henderson in goal, and you're just immediately thinking, well, why is that happening? And then you've got Matic, who's our holding midfielder, chasing him down. Where's Wan-Bissaka? Where's Twanzebe? Where's Maguire? Where's Shaw? Where's Van der Beek? They're all supposed to be the defensive sort of players in this game. I mean, where was anybody else, really? It was, very questionable defending. Really quite poor. Second goal, just completely open for them to score. I don't know what we're doing positioning wise on that second goal, because if you look at it, I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Maguire, Twanzebe and Wan-Bissaka, possibly. I don't remember seeing Luke Shaw there necessarily. That they went towards the right with the ball and they scored from there. When the camera panned over to the left a little bit, there was 3 United players there. I think it was Maguire, Twanzebe and Wan-Bissaka. I think it was those 3 players. I'm just a little bit lost for words on the defending on those 2 goals, because where is it? I mean, where are they? Where are the defenders at that point? You're supposed to be in front of the goal, not at the side of it. And you're supposed to be in your own half at certain points, not... it's just... Oh, dear. Yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. We've lost this game, we've got to move on and go to Everton. I do have a bit of a feeling at the moment. I mean, let's say we lose to Everton on Saturday, which is a Saturday lunchtime game. What does that mean for Ollie? How many games does he have to lose? to get sacked. Now I'm not saying Ollie out, get him sacked, get the clown out. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm simply analysing. Okay, we lost to Arsenal, did beat Besiktas and PSG, and then drew to Chelsea. So a fairly average run of form. You've now got 2 defeats, a draw, 2 wins in your last few games. Yeah, if he loses to Everton, what does that mean for him? How much at this point would it take for him to get sacked? Because you've drawn and then lost twice. Sorry, you've drawn 1 and then lost twice, because you draw to Chelsea. Well, which way around with those games? Draw against Chelsea, win against Leipzig, and then obviously the 2 defeats here and at Arsenal as well. I do just wonder, because if he loses to Everton, that's 3 in a row. If you lose to, it's an international break after that. It's very funny, isn't it, now that I think about the international break? Whenever we've had a particularly bad run of form, like the Tottenham game, and we lost 6-1 international break, everyone's climbing over Harry Maguire because he was playing really badly, who yet again played really poorly again today. There has been a lot of coincidence with Ole as to, okay, he's been playing, performing badly as a manager, pulls out a result. Performing badly as a manager, pulls out a result. Or sometimes it will be performing badly as a manager, international break. We've just lost 2 games, got Everton on Saturday, which will be a very, very interesting game. If he loses that, international break. If he wins that and we're back on a slight bit of form, international break. Yeah, so very, very, very interesting stuff. There'll be, yeah. I just wonder what it will take to, not in terms of like, oh, how can we get him out of the club, but just analysing in terms of, because it's not up to us to decide. It's obviously up to the board and the Glazers and whatever, and Ed Woodward to see what it would take for him to get sacked. But I don't know, three defeats on the. Because if you look at it, right, 2 wins in the Champions League, very, very good. PSG, Leipzig, really good games. Good goals from Rashford and everybody else, and all that sort of thing. You're 16th. Is it 15th or 16th in the league? Let me just quickly check that. Tables, 15th in the league, 7 points from 6 games. Dreadful. You go and lose to Everton on Saturday. Let's say that we do lose to Everton, and then other teams below us could possibly win, push us even further down the table. We would then be in a relegation battle. What would it take after that to get him sacked? But anyway, I think I've made my point with that. Yeah, in order to talk about, I'll get into player ratings in the second half. I thought Pogba was dreadful today. I thought Mata didn't really. Again with Mata, he got outpaced a lot, didn't he, in this match? There was, I think with the first goal, with the second goal, because no one was challenging anybody with the first goal. With the second goal, Mata tries to chase someone down on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side. Can't catch up to him. Not his goal, I'm just analysing kind of his performance. Just very much didn't seem able to keep up with this game. So he didn't have a great game. Martial I didn't think was particularly good. Rashford had another one of them weird games for me where he got the ball and did a few things but just wasn't able to really do anything with it. Rashford's a kind of curious player with that. Maguire I thought was poor. Tuanzebe I didn't think was... I don't know, Tuanzebe did okay at certain points. But not enough to warrant him being subbed off for some reason. Wan-Bissaka I thought had a poor game. Matic had a really poor game. Now we get to the biggest mistake from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in this match. Subbing off Donny van de Beek. Why? There's been a lot of questions as to, okay, why is he not starting Donny van de Beek? He actually does do that in this game. And then subs him off at, the 60th minute or so? Let me just scroll down and actually check that. Van de Beek off 61 minutes. So yeah, because he came off for either Pogba or Cavani. Can't remember which one. But one of them two. Probably for Pogba. That would make more sense. Doesn't make... the only reason it would justify for me taking off Tuanzebe or Van de Beek is if one of them's got a knock or an injury and he's trying to save them for Saturday. That's the only excuse I'd give him for that even making a bit of sense. Because Van de Beek was fantastic in this game. and it's pretty shocking that he took him off. So, but other than that, dreadful performance. Yeah, just I really have some big questions about our defense today. Yeah, it's just weird. Just didn't really, both in defense, midfield, and attack, we just didn't really seem to have an idea. And is that down to Ollie's lack of tactics? Is it down to the players? Because I mean, yeah, you can rely sometimes on individual ability. I mean, if you put Cristiano Ronaldo in your team, he's going to do some individually brilliant stuff, but you've still got tactics that you want him to follow. Someone's going to play next to you or behind you. You've got to do this or that. There's going to be specific things, but Ronaldo can hit one in from 40 yards. There just seems to be a bit of a reliance from Ole on individual moments and brilliance, and it's letting us down clearly at the moment. So that's all I pretty much have to say in terms of the performance. I'll keep an eye on YouTube and stuff like I have been doing for the goal. I'll have a look after I've done the player ratings, which I'm going to do in a minute. So I'll see you for that in a minute.
Hey there, I'm Aaron Holman, host of Eye to Eye, a weekly podcast talk show all about passion.
I have this passion and this fire within me that burns brighter than the fire around me.
Flow.
With performing, there's always a story to tell, whether it's my own or not.
And creativity.
I go, he's more than cute, he's creative.
All with an LGBT twist. Make sure to check out Eye to Eye, that's EYE, number 2, letter I. And rate and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in today.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Koalu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Koalu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. Alright, recently on Entertainment Talk, what have we got for you today to talk about? Walking Dead podcast for season 1 episode 5, for the Walking Dead World Beyond, not the main show, the World Beyond, the spin-off show, season 1 episode 5. Me and David covered that today. Gaming talk this week, we talked about PS5 faceplate getting sort of cancelled from one particular company because Sony didn't want them to do it. Activision Blizzard are going to be hosting a virtual BlizzCon soon, so they're going to be talking about games. We speculated as to which ones, and we talked about this month's stark differences in terms of PS Plus and Games for Gold games for November for 2020. Actor and Actress Spotlight is back, and this time I'm talking about John Boyega for the 8th episode, of course talking about his saga, we could call it that, with Star Wars, and he's just a little bit older than me, which is kind of interesting, and talking about what he could potentially do in the future, and also where I first saw him, which was in Attack the Block in 2011. Very good film. Analyzing Television episode 3 for the fall of Quibi. Quibi is going to be getting shut down in December, and I talked about the various different reasons as to why and what it means for the larger scale of television, hence analyzing TV. Fear the Walking Dead season 6 episode 4, I'm still continuing that. Let's Play Sundays, Iron Man VR, must see podcast. I did a podcast talking about Working Mums, which isn't like one of them Real Housewives shows. This is a scripted drama on CBS and on Netflix in the UK. I talked about that. It's an absolutely phenomenal show, and I gave it a must-see rating. No particular spoilers in there. Just talked about what I've sort of seen so far for the show and why I think it's fantastic. United Cast episodes, Let's Play Sunday episode of Crash Bandicoot 4, and Star Trek Discovery is of course still continuing, Season 3, Episode 3 so far. That's everything at the moment for entertainmenttalk.org and on podcast platforms. Player ratings. Dean Henderson, was kind of good to see him today. I mean, we are paying him to be at the football club, so he should play every now and again. Thought he was good. I'm not going to blame him for the 2 goals. I'm definitely going to blame the defence for that. So really quite interesting stuff there. I'll give him an average 5. There was nothing he did particularly good or particularly bad. Wasn't really challenged other than those 2 goals, so that was interesting. Wan-Bissaka, I mean the whole defence was really poor. Our best defender, I do think Luke Shaw probably played the best out of all of them. Wan-Bissaka did a couple of good tackles. He likes to do those sort of sliding tackles. Tuanzebe didn't have a particularly brilliant game. Maguire I thought was shocking today. And it's interesting with Maguire because, I don't have any agendas against any players or anything. But with Maguire, I think the reason he gets brought up so much, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons. One of which, he's supposed to be this big, imposing defender. £80 million, big price tag on his head, and he's got the Manchester United captain armband on, and that's no small thing, is it? So, yeah, that's probably why he does get more of the attention. Plus the fact that he hasn't played very well at all this season, that's another reason as well. I'll just rate the defence apart from Shaw. I'll give them a 4 just collectively, and then I'll give Luke Shaw a 5, I guess. He had a sort of belowish average performance. I thought it was poor. Matic I thought was really bad as well. I'll give him a 4. I thought that he was outpaced in this game, just like what Mata was as well. I just don't think either of those two really had the legs for this game, necessarily. Which, it's part of their age. It's not really their fault per se, but they could have both played better. Matic, I'll give him a 4. I thought it was pretty bad today. Van der Beek, I think it's Van der Beek. That's what I hear everyone say. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was fantastic today. I probably would have given him a higher score if he'd have stayed on longer, which isn't his choice, of course, because there was still 30 minutes to go in the game when he's getting subbed off. So I'm going to give him an 8. He probably would have gotten a higher score if he was on longer and could have played a bit more, but I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was brilliant. You know what, I'm going to give Van der Beek man of the match today, which I know is weird because he got subbed off or whatever, got subbed off early, but that's Ollie's fault and not Van der Beek's. I wonder how he must be feeling at the moment. And Van der Sar as well. Van der Sar sort of has a good relationship with Manchester United. The director of football over at Ajax got us a good deal on Van der Beek, and just the way we've treated him since in terms of his playtime at the club has just been bizarre. And then you finally do what everyone's been asking. You start him in this game. He's playing really well. And then you bring him off. Again, if it's for injury reasons, that's a bit more understandable, but not from what I sort of saw particularly. One Matter, I'm going to give him a 4 as well. I thought he was really poor today. Again, just outpaced, but his general performance wasn't very good. So that's One Matter. Fernandez, I'll give him a 5. I thought he had one of his worser games, but the thing is with someone like Bruno Fernandes, who is still by far our best player, is even when he has a poor game, you can still see that he's trying to do certain things, and I do appreciate that about him, but I'm not going to use that to give him a higher score, so I'll give him a 5. I thought it was average today. Rashford, I'll give him the same. Average, just couldn't really particularly get into the game. Did try a little bit too hard at certain points. Rashford, I thought, tried to take on a few too many players. That didn't particularly work, so I'll give him a 5. Martial, I'll give him a 5 as well. I thought he had a fairly average game. So that's Martial. Let's go to the subs because they did play plenty in this game, so there's a fair bit to talk about. Pogba, I thought Pogba was absolutely dreadful today. What's the point of doing all these step overs and all these little like, oh, I'm going to drop my shoulder and try and run past you if you just pass it to the right? What is the point in doing? What is the point of trying to look like a world-class player, which he very much can be. Like I said with Pogba, it's very strange. You either get like a really, really poor version of him that's like a 3 or a 4 out of 10, or you get like the 9 out of 10 version. You never really get like a 7 or 8 out of 10 version of Pogba where like, okay, he's done averagely alright. You either get like a really bad version of him or a really, really good version, and one's certainly a lot better than the other. But yeah, I'm gonna give him what did I give Maguire? A 4? I thought Pogba was our worst player today. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 3. So he's our worst rated player. I thought he was just, yeah. Why are you doing like? Again, maybe it's like he's trying too hard or something, or he's trying to do too much. But if you're gonna try and show that you're world class with all these step overs, don't pass it to someone next to you. Do like a ball over the top, or try and beat a player. You know, if you're going to drop your shoulder and do, you know, some step overs or whatever, try and actually beat the player who's in front of you. It's quite bizarre. I don't know. Because I mean, Pogba's obviously a big point of conversation with Manchester United. Him sort of saying the other day like, oh, Real Madrid sounds like a good idea. I mean, I'm not saying Paul Pogba needs to go, but I sort of feel like these performances that we get from Pogba, where he's either world class or really bad, because I can't recall a game where he's had an averagely good game. I can only recall games where he's been really bad or really, really good. Maybe if he moves on and he just plays for someone else, maybe if he does want to go to Real Madrid, maybe just give him a fresh start. I don't know, this sort of like will he, won't he, always signs a new contract, plays good, plays really bad. It's too inconsistent, and it's not helping Paul himself settle into the team. It's really not, and it must be awkward for Ollie as well, because I mean, I'd find if I had a player like that in my team who was just like inconsistently good and I didn't know what I was going to get out of him, I'd find that very, very frustrating. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 3. I thought it was dreadful today. Cavani, I thought Cavani showed another lot of promise today, but yet again, I don't know if it's Cavani himself deciding to do it or if Ollie's telling him to do it. He's drifting out wide too much. I don't know why he's drifting out to the left and trying to pressure players on the ball. He needs to just stay in the box, and I can't really tell if that's Cavani himself deciding to do it. I mean, fair enough, if he wants to work hard for the ball, I very, very much appreciate that. If he wants to play for the shirt or whatever, that's great, and set an example for the younger players, because he's one of the oldest ones there. That's great. I just want to see Cavani central in the box almost at all times, especially when we're on the attack, and be that predator in the box. Because other than the offside goal that he scored the other day, I can't remember which game that was in, but the offside goal that he scored, other than that, Cavani has not had a clear-cut chance in front of the goal, because I'm promising you that he will take those. Now, if he doesn't score those, that's not my fault, but I'm just telling you how good he can be. And he's not going to be able to do that enough if he's drifting left and right. That's what Martial does. That's why Martial's not a pure number 9. He scores goals. It was great he scored today. I still haven't seen the goal. But that's what Martial does. That's not what Cavani's supposed to do. Think of like if Berbatov or Van Nistelrooy did that. That's the sort of player that Cavani is supposed to be. Someone that just doesn't really leave the box too much. So anyway, Greenwood. I don't really remember seeing Greenwood on the ball, to be perfectly honest. Fosu-Mensah did do a really good tackle near the box. Did a couple of good bits and pieces. I thought he was fairly good today. McTominay did all right. Lost the ball a few times. Made a couple of good passes. So he had a fine game today. He came on at half time, didn't he? So yeah. But again, we've lost. Poor performance today. And I mean, I just wonder about the future of both Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Paul Pogba at this club, because they're both, let's face it, they're both inconsistent. Ole goes and loses 2-1 to a team in Istanbul, or called Istanbul, in Turkey, who I've never heard of before, and then he goes and beats Leipzig, the Champions League finalists from last season, or the semi-finalists. Goes and beats them 5-0. Just too inconsistent for me. So I don't know what's going to happen. I guess we'll find out. But what did you think of this game? What do you think of the performances? What do you think of what I said about Pogba and all the other players and the goals and everything else? I'm just going to check YouTube to see if the goals are up. But in the meantime, let me search for Man United on YouTube. I'm quite annoyed that I missed the goal. Can't see it on here at the moment. I will watch the goal at some point later. Just unfortunately, it was like literally right as I left the room, we scored, which was quite annoying. But oh, I've got it here. A minute, gotta wait for this ad to clear up. But in the meantime, if you want to let me know what your thoughts, feelings, questions, comments, concerns about Manchester United or anything related to Entertainment Talk, Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter, eTalkUK, there's a contact page and information in your show notes. 2 seconds left of this ad. Alright, let's skip forward. This is not a highlights video. Hang on a sec, I'm sorry about this. Yeah, it's not a highlights video, so I'll watch it at some point later and let you know my thoughts on the goal. But unfortunately, I can't find it at the moment. But in the meantime, you can find everything that we do on entertainmenttalk.org. If you'd like to support the podcast and Entertainment Talk, if you like what you've heard today and you want to get involved and support more of what we're doing, entertainmenttalk.org is where all the content is at. And of course, if you want to support the podcast and Entertainment Talk, Patreon, we're on there, the $1, $3 level tiers. For instant, ad-free podcast and review options, Amazon affiliate link if you're buying those Christmas presents or treating yourself or both, we can get a small cut of what you spend, it won't cost you extra. iTunes feeds, please search for us on your favourite podcast platform and get yourself subscribed. If we're not on your favourite podcast platform, please let us know and I'll look into doing that as well. David, you can find him over on geektown.co.uk and Geektown on iTunes and podcast services. Geektown Radio episodes on Tuesdays. This week's episode is available to be listened to, so go and check that out for your up-to-date, reliable TV and film news. Geektown.co.uk is where you can find the information throughout the week and everything. Bex is streaming daily at the moment over on Twitch. Trista Bytes, Trista Bytes. Go and follow her, subscribe to her over there. Get involved with all that cool, fun stuff. I'm streaming at the moment. If you want to see how I would manage Manchester United and also play as them, I suppose, I'm starting I did the first episode today actually on Twitch. Those aren't going to be going up on the website, at least for the time being. They are going to be going up on Twitch and on the YouTube channel. So if you search for Entertainment Talk Plays on YouTube, you can find that as well. I'm doing the sort of this like pre-season tournament thing, but I should be starting my season at some point, and I'll let you know when those sorry, the first game of the Premier League season is what I meant. I should be starting that at some point. So yeah, links in the show notes for my Twitch channel. Get yourself subscribed to that with a face cam. You can hear me talking and all that sort of thing, and see what I would do with myself with Manchester United as well. That's some pretty cool stuff, so go and check that out. Word of mouth, you can tell people that you know about the website, iTunes feeds, Geektown and Trista Bytes and everything else. Social media, you can do the same thing, Facebook and Twitter and different Facebook groups, and also look out for Let's Play Sundays. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on Saturday for Everton. Very, very, very big game. It's either going to be 3 defeats in a row for Manchester United or some other combination of results, but we'll see you for that next time. Goodbye.